Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. Today is a new day. A new day for mercy, a new day for forgiveness, a new day for compassion, and a new someone or to empower the next person or another person. Help another person, I should say. Well, welcome back to my channel. Yesterday, or in the last video, we left off at, a good point with Gina. And we were talking about what a real man, what's a real man or real potential. And, anytime someone want to emphasize on something, they always use the word real. Well, what does that mean, right? So that's where we left off at. We're in She Was Made book, and we're on page 12. And I want to say it's the 3rd chapter where we left off at. Finally, a real man with real potential. Gina was 115 miles away at school, and still he always managed to make his way to come visit her during the week and often on the weekends. It never crossed her mind that Tony was not who he seemed. So here it is. Tony is coming to see her every week. You know what? Let me stop right there. I have to say this in every single video of mine. Yes, I do. And for those of you, you already know, I'm not an expert, right? By no means necessary. And I'm not a psychologist yet. But so I'm only an expert when it comes to my life, the things that I've experienced, the lessons that I've learned, the things that I've seen along my journey. And so are you when it comes to your life. You are an expert when it comes to your life. I am a forever student. I'm going to always have that curiosity. I'm going to always want to know why, right? Like, why did that? What happened? So that's me. So I wrote this book, excuse me. So I wrote this book not to get rich. And I'm not over here dying trying to get rich, get rich or die trying. I'm just not. So fixing my light, okay? I don't know if that's good or bad. How is that? All right, so you can purchase this book on amzn.to. You can put in my name, or you can put in She Was Made book, and it'll pop up. I've got the book for sale for like $5 and some change. Or you can download the ebook for like $2, I think. But I wrote this book specifically to get a point across that we all have been given a purpose. How do we identify that purpose? How do we find it? And each woman in this book found their purpose differently. And there's something about pain. Sometimes pain, I'm talking about, I want to say traumatic pain or traumatizing pain, oftentimes lead us to our purpose. Things that just come and hit us so hard, it oftentimes lead us to a purpose. But anyway, this is what we're about. And my purpose is to help you live yours, help you discover your purpose, help you identify what's my purpose, because I don't know. And you have to understand there's a difference between purpose and passion. You can be passionate about a whole bunch of stuff, but all it takes is that one. That one is something about that one thing that you're passionate about. And so we're going to go back to the book. because that's what we're here to talk about, the book. Okay. So we left off there. Tony, was not, well, it didn't cross her mind that Tony was not who he seemed. And oftentimes when we're dating someone, especially with Gina, I mean, this guy's coming to see her during the week, oftentimes on the weekends. I mean, he is hanging and he's traveling. So he's traveling, staying the night or two, going back, coming back. He's doing these things. So moving on, everything was good. When it's good, it's good. I had a girlfriend say, Gail, when it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, it's bad. Talking about her relationship with her significant other. And it's like that, isn't it? When it be good, it be good. Like, oh my gosh, good. Everything is cool. We getting along. We in there. But when it's bad, it's like, look, Negro, forget you. Go ahead on. I'm good. It gets real bad. Okay, so after 3 years, shouldn't there be more between them? So they've been dating for a little over 3 years. And here's the question. Shouldn't there be more between them? More substance, more. And I think here it is where Gina is coming to a point in their relationship where she's looking for the next step in the progression of their relationship. Okay, we've been dating for 3 years. I think we should be hinting on the next move. So I just have to read this. So here's the part where Gina and Tony. So I don't know who's talking who, but I'm just going to read it. So, hey, baby, Gina said excitedly. What's up, baby? How are you? Asked Tony. I finally turned in my paper for class and was thinking about us. I'll be graduating in a year, said Gina. So now Gina is hinting him like, I'll be graduating in a year. Yeah, I think it's about that time. So she's hinting around the point she's trying to bring. He's like, I know, baby, I'm proud of you, girl, said Tony with a smile on his face. Yeah, we've been dating for 3 years now. Don't you think it's time for us to go to the next level with our relationship? I mean, I want that, said Gina unexpectedly. So Gina eventually comes to the point of, okay, we've been together for 3 years. I graduated in a year. Shouldn't we be moving along? Shouldn't we be a proposal? We should be getting married, Let me call you back, baby. I'm not ignoring your request. I just want to think about it first before I give you an answer. Okay, baby, said Tony. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. I'll talk to you later, baby, said Gina. What do you think about that? Isn't that something? There's already just his response alone, just already. He went from being happy, hey, you done turned in that paper, to being, yeah, let me call you back on that one. Okay, you want to call me back? That's not a good sign. I was expecting more of a, or let's talk about it, but let me call you back, and you're not ignoring my request, but really you are, in a sense. So there's already here, red flags are popping up. Everything's been coasting, everything's been good. Now that I'm talking about taking our relationship to the next level, you want to be like, So, as I mentioned before, I underline and I circle certain things that pop out to me that I like to talk about. So since that call, so listen. So after that lukewarm exchange with Tony, once again, Gina set aside that little voice in her head and basked in the addictive attention that he gave her. She like, hold on now. Normally you will sit here and talk to me. Now I'm talking about taking our relationship to the next level. You want to call me back? I'm not used to that. Meanwhile, she has this little voice in her head trying to tell her, girl, listen, don't you see this? But she's ignoring it. Once the spring semester ended, Gina headed back home for the summer break. Now, her and Tony's routine remained the same, hanging out and having fun. Then one day, it's always that one day. Always that one, then one day, she called him and he didn't answer. Hold on, now normally when I call you answer. This isn't like you. You're not answering. Plus, I'm at home. I'm back home. You know, I'm here. It's summer break. They had dinner plans that he never showed up for. So they had dinner plans. So she called him. He didn't answer. They had dinner plans that he never showed up for. It wasn't like him to be a no-show and a no-return call. More red flags, right? More indications that are alluding to what's really going on, right? More indications. But see, Gina, being Gina, ignoring, not really wanting to face reality, like, no, can't be, because you know, he been coming up here, traveling to come see me while I'm in school, and you know, it can't be nobody else. Can't be. It's impossible. So something didn't feel right. Gina's instincts needed to put the pieces together. So I circled the word instincts. Because even though you kind of know it's that gut feeling that you have, it's that knowing, like, oh, I know something going on. Now, I didn't see it. I haven't seen it yet, but there's something that's telling me something is going on. I know it is. It's clear as day in my face, but I haven't witnessed it yet, right? So instinct simply means pattern of activity. It's a feeling. It's a hunch, an impulse that you get, an intuition, a sense. And sometimes for some people, it's a gift. People just have that gift of knowing. It's a funny feeling. It's a gut reaction. So when she arrived to his house, his car wasn't there. Now, I don't know about you, but I know that I've did this before. I done went to, the guy that I was with, and I done went to his house to see, okay, I did a little drive by. Okay, let me see if he at home because he didn't answer my call. Let me drive around the block real quick and be sneaky with it, right? Who haven't done it? So she drove around the neighborhood. Now so not only did she drive to his house and notice that his car wasn't there, she drove around the neighborhood looking for his car. I'm guilty of that too. I did that too. Now I won't do it today. Now, back in the day, like way back in the day when I didn't know who I was, when I didn't know what I have, now I knew who I belonged to, but I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I had. And yeah, I did that. I sure did. Drove to his place. I'm driving around the neighborhood, all the neighborhoods that I think he would be in just so I could see him. And every time I drove around looking for him, you know how they say, whatever you're looking for, you're going to find it. Every single time I found him. But that was the back in the day, Gail. That was like way back. Today, Gail is like, nah, like really. So she found his car 4 blocks down, parked in the driveway of a well-kept Cape Cod with a flat backyard house. So this house was well-kept, nice house, okay, had a flat backyard. So next to the driveway were children's bikes and a few toys. So Gina sat in her car, called Tony one more time, hoping that he'll answer the phone. And when he didn't, Gina wanted to know what or who had his attention and stepped out of the car. Oh, snap. She wanted to know who has his attention. But no, wait a minute. See, we've been dating for 3 years and I've been his only. Like, he's been giving me all of his attention. That's all I need. Everything's been good between us. He's been coming to see me. Every summertime I come here, we always having fun, hanging out. When I go back, he comes and he sees me. Oh, everything is good. Now all of a sudden I'm thinking about I'm talking to him seriously about taking our relationship to the next level. Now he's ducking and dodging. Not returning my phone calls. And then I see his car parked in somebody's driveway and I see children's bikes and toys out in the yard. Hold on. Either but something is telling me something is not right. But I want to know for sure. Because even though I see this, I don't know if he's at a family's house who has children, and I know he doesn't have any love. Not that, no. So you ever just want to go see, like, I want to know, let me go check it out. And she did. Gina gets out of the car. She goes up to the door. She's knocking on that door. And before the door opens, who is it? The door opens up. And a woman appeared, an older woman now. Mind you, Gina is in college. She got 1 more year to go. This door opens up. It's an older woman at the door, okay? She's older. She's dressed in her robe. Like, okay, who is this? We weren't expecting nobody. Yes, can I help you? So the woman had a hateful attitude. Wasn't expecting no damn company. Who is this? Can I help you? So Gina was furious. She was like, is Tony there? No, she said, is Tony here? Why? I mean, who are you? I'm Gina, his girlfriend. Who? Baby, listen. You are, when they say baby, listen. Baby, listen. She looking at this girl like, hold on, now, you young. Not only are you young, but she already preparing for that. You dumb too. She says, who? Baby, listen, I'm Tony's woman. We've been together for 12 years, and I have 3 children. We have 3 children together. Don't know what Tony told you, but let me spell it out for you. He is my man. She laughed with a crackle that gave Gina the chills and closed the door in her face. Ooh, woo. Not only are you young, Gina, but you dumb too. We've been together for 12 years, have 3 children together. And can you imagine the look on Gina's face? Can you imagine how she felt at that moment? Heart had to been pumping. Let's see who over here. Is Tony here? I'm his girlfriend. Like girlfriend. Hold on, wait a minute. Baby, listen, I'm his woman. Yeah, you may be his girlfriend, but I'm his woman. You hear me? So there's a difference. So now oh gosh, this is crazy, isn't it? But can you imagine how Gina is feeling? Like, wait a minute, 3 children. They've been together for 12 years. Now, if that were me, and a woman comes to the door, a grown woman, an older woman at that, and she says, we've been together for 12 years, have 3 children, that's my cue to walk away and never look back. However, there are some women who wouldn't even do that. They will fight. They will go back and forth. They will be in complete denial. They will be not wanting to accept reality, not wanting to accept the fact that, okay, wait a minute, but he's been with me. He can't really be how. And then asking a question, how has he been able to come see me like that? If he has a woman and he has 3 children, how was he able to hang out with me like that? Not only that, but in the summertime when I come back home, we like this. So how was that even possible? It never crossed her mind because everything was good. He was giving her the attention that she needed. He was her everything. Now, Gina stood there speechless, trying to get her thoughts together. Her feelings were raw beyond comparison. As she headed back to her car, she eyed everything around her. The house, cars, and the evidence of children. Everything she aspired to have after graduation. Isn't that something? And that's why she had asked Tony about taking their relationship to the next level. She's getting ready to graduate, have her degree, have a great career. You know, I want a husband. I want a family. I want to have children. I want to have that house and, you know, the car. I want to have that, you know, nice backyard for our children to play around. I'm thinking family. I'm thinking growth. I'm thinking Gina. So everything she had aspired to have after graduation is in her face. Even imagining her being the woman wearing the robe, coming to the door. Can I help you? Okay. Even to that extent. So her mind, and oftentimes we do this, our minds travel back to those conversations. So her mind traveled back to that conversation about a deeper relationship between them. And deeper, extended far back in, it's rooted, it's buried. That's what deep means. So the flags were all there, but Gina didn't want to see them. Remember when she was the guy, so when she was in high school, and her friend Ann showed her a picture of her boyfriend booed up with another girl at the mall. And, you know, Gina was like, that's not him. Why get that out of my face? Like, why are you showing me that? She knew it was him though, but she didn't want to accept it. And so here, this is crazy. So the flags were all there, but Gina didn't want it for 12 years, and you guys have 3 children together. How? I didn't even know about that. So now she saw why he requests, but let me get back to you on that, right? And at that time, she had this feeling of, hold on, wait a minute, some just don't seem right. That's not Tony. That's not like him. But how? So she's in the car, looking at her future life, The house, the cars, the family, looking at her life. Her mind is rattling. Her emotions are going. Now she's in the car, but how? How was he able to stay with me for weekends on out and sometimes for a week at a time? Like, why didn't I see this? Why didn't I see it? Like, how was he? Now she's asking a question. She's trying to figure it all out. Like, how? What? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm trying to put the pieces together. So she asked herself. So now she's at home trying to figure it out. So she asked herself, she's trying to figure it out. Were we really in a relationship? I don't know. Were you? But how? Damn. Was I the side piece? But he was always there for me. He called. We talked for hours. He always showed up. Now, this is Gina talking to herself. She's talking out loud. She's trying to figure it out. So she's talking out loud. All of her thoughts is coming out loud. She was questioning her decision and how 3 years turned into a mess, a waste of time. See, we're questioning our decision. See, I circled the word decision because remember I said we can point the finger at him all day long. We can blame him for everything. However, when it's all said and done, the person to blame is you. It's yourself because you made the decision. You allowed these things to take place and happen, right? Now, has she known that he was in this relationship, I'm pretty sure she would have been like, next. But she didn't know. However, the last conversation they had about her graduating in a year, taking our relationship to that next step, next level, that was a indication that something wasn't, hold on, this isn't Tony. Then I come home, we have dinner plans, you don't even show up, you're not even answering the phone. Not only that, but you're not even calling me back. At this point, it's very clear that you are ignoring me, and I can't stand being ignored. I'm so used to getting attention from you. So let me find out where you at. Let me see where he's at, Now I'm searching. Something is telling me something isn't right. Oh, and I find it and I see it. And now I'm trying to figure out how could you have a whole entire life and then have one with me? So was I the side piece? Who was the side piece, me or her? Which one? What's real? So decision is the act or process of deciding, determination as a question or a doubt by making a judgment. It's an agreement, an arrangement, choice. You're compromising. There's an opinion. Decision is like an outcome. It's a resolution, a result selection. It's a verdict. It's something that we make a decision. You know what? The most powerful thing that you have alone, just alone, the most powerful thing that we all have is the power to make a decision. And then for every decision that we make, of course, there's consequences, good or bad consequences. It's just understanding, okay, if I do this, what are the consequences of me doing this if I do choose to do this, right? So that's the part of figuring it all out. What is the consequences of that? And this is why, you'll have your girlfriends tell you, girl, you didn't do nothing wrong. It's all him. You didn't, yes, and the hell you did do something wrong. You allowed certain things to take place and happen and occur, right? And then you allow it to go on. Then not only that, but you allow it to go on for so long. Yeah, you did you. And then on top of that, you've seen it, but you chose not to pay it any attention. You're like, nah, this is just a phase. Or, you know what? He ain't, trust me, I got him. Okay. So little did she know, and little do we all know when we are faced with situations like this. We didn't know. So regardless of what happened or how it happened, Gina was winning anyway. And see, this is the thing. When things don't work out in your favor, when you are faced with situations such as Gina, finding out that he's had a whole entire different life. Excuse me, the reason why Gina is still winning is because there are so many lessons to be learned from this situation that she can take and apply it to her life in moving forward. So she's gained. Some people go through these relationships and they just never learn. And this is why, you keep going through the same thing. It's just with a different guy. Because you never really learned the first time, the second time, the third time. Because had you learned, and that's why they say when you know better, you do better. You just didn't know. So here it is, you with this guy, but then it gets to a point where you like, okay, I'm trying to figure this thing out. Eventually you come to a point in your life where you like, hold on, why do I keep getting myself into the same old when it comes to relationships? I mean, this is a different person. And each time it's with a different man, but the situation is still the same. So if you're in a relationship and, you got this guy who's using you for your resources, you kick him, give him the boot, like, dude, you're not about to be using me. Then you get into another relationship, different name, but he's using you, you kick him the boot. At some point, you're going to get to a point where you're going to start asking yourself, why do I keep attracting these type of men who want to use me? Like, why? What am I doing? But then you have some people who feel like they're just targeted, like they have nothing to do with men wanting to use them constantly. Like you have nothing to do with that. And that's not true. We attract who we are. We attract what we are. Not to say that, okay, the reason why she's attracting these users is because she's a user herself. Not to say that. There's got to be something else that has yet to be identified is the main reason why she's attracting that type of person. It's got to be because you wouldn't be attracting it, or there's something about you that says, hey, you can use me. I'm full of all kinds of resources. Not that you're saying it, but there's something about you that's putting that signal out, that's putting that energy out, that, come on, come on, come and use me, right? So there's something that's there. I always tell people, if you want to change the type of person that you're attracting into your life, just change one thing about you. If you change one thing about you, everything around you begins to change. Just that one thing. And if you're consistent with that one thing that you change, you're going to start attracting a different type of guy because there's that energy about you now. There's this signal that you have that's shooting out something else. I can speak from experience, boo. There was a time where I would like nothing but hood guys. As a matter of fact, my ex-husband, I wouldn't say that he's from the streets, but he did have that hood mentality. He was out in the streets doing what he do. But at the same time, he had, oh gosh, he has, and I'm going to say has, present tense, because he always had this amazing potential, amazing potential. Oh gosh, amazing, that separated him from the hood, right? But after that marriage, I changed one thing about me, just one. And all of a sudden, there were a different caliber of men who were now taking an interest in me. And I'm like, okay, I went from hood to good. No, just playing. I went from hood to now, the men who are taking an interest in me are, they have a college degree, they have a career, they're successful in their career. It was just different. I said this whole entire, it's like day and night. But that was because I changed one thing about me and remained consistent until it became second nature. And that's with anything that I do. Like, I'm just consistent and it becomes second nature. It's just something that you just naturally do because you've been doing it for so long. So fast forward, it went from that to, and it just got better and better and better. It didn't never remain the same. And I think it was because I constantly grew. Personal development. Personal development is key. When you're constantly growing, there's that energy that's shooting out and it's sending a signal. And I don't get approached. Even at that time, I wasn't getting approached from the hood guys, from the street guys. But back in the day, ooh, that's, but the ones that did, the street guys that did try to approach me or took an interest in me, they always had money. Always had money. I've got to put that in there. I always had money. But it was crazy. And I've never, guys who had a college education, successful career, even back then, I've never had anyone interested in me back in the day who was college educated and all of that. But it's just, as I continue to grow, as I continue to change, that one thing about me, it just, the type of people that I attract into my life, it's just different. It's just different. Yeah, it's just different. And by the way, I don't have a college degree. Not yet. Not yet. I'm working on it. Okay. So, sorry to get off on that tangent, but I just want to kind of like explain the difference and explain a little bit more. So, in everything that we go through, we come out on top no matter what the situation is, because there is always a lesson to be learned, to be used later. So once you identify those lessons that you've learned in that crazy relationship, okay, and when you learn those lessons, especially for you, because now you're at a point where you know what to do and you know what not to do, right? And it's not that you don't set it up in such a way to where, because mind you, you can become bitter and you can become, you can position yourself in a place where you aren't open to receive love from that person because you've been hurt so many times, or you've been taken advantage of so many times, or you've been, you've gone through the same so many times, and you may feel as though, you good by yourself. And although that may be true, because everyone is not marriage material, but that does not mean that you're not companionship material. And maybe you're not companionship material, but it does not mean that you're not deserving of having or allowing, or being in a relationship with someone who really do care about you. But you never know, because you're not taking the time out to date. You're not taking the time out to really get to know that person, or you've got so many blockage. You protecting the main thing is here. So you block it every time he wanna, embrace you, you blocking it like, hold on, what you trying to do? Gone. I want you. So you sending mixed signals. I want you. I want to get to know you, but at the same time, you telling him to go. So the lessons that we learn, the things that we go through in relationships are really for us to learn more about who we are. And those are the lessons that we take with us. And we apply those lessons learned into our life when it comes to us. You learn so much about you in relationships. And it's not just only pertaining to, that's my man, that's my woman relationship, but even with friendships, relationships that you have with family and friends, you learn so much about you if you took the time out to really want to understand you. Because oftentimes we lose us. When we get into relationships, we lose who we are because we're so focused and concentrated on what he ain't doing, or what he is doing, or how he's treating me, or what is he doing, right? We lose sight of us because our full focus and concentration is on him, when it should really be on, okay, me. How am I treating him? What am I doing? Right? What am I doing? Because, and let me give you, you know what? Let me stop. I'm going on a tangent. Let me get back to this book. Going on a tangent, Gail. All right, so now Gunshot didn't begin to describe the aftermath of the emotional roller coaster Gina rode. We all have been on that emotional roller coaster, and there are some women who are still on that emotional roller coaster, and there are some women who are still experiencing the emotional roller coaster. Now, it will be another 2 years before she stepped into another relationship with a man. So she's taking a break, 2 years, which is good, because, you need that time to heal, because you don't want to take all that and bring it into the next relationship. You know what I mean? You don't want to take all of that hurt, the pain. So the 2-year break was good. Let me get myself together. Because when I make this comeback, I'm coming back. Now, at least with Steve Smith, here go another man. Here's another one. So at least with Steve Smith, she knew. Now, Gina knew what she was getting from the get-go. Now, Steve was going through a divorce. So I guess that's what that means. Now she's dealing with Steve, who's going through a divorce. So she's aware. She's aware. He's got a family. He's got, he's filed a divorce. They get ready to go through this divorce. So at least I know what I'm getting myself into. Now, before I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But at least with Steve, I know. So maybe this will be different. Poor Gina. So Steve's soon-to-be ex-wife. Now, they were legally separated and shared joint custody of their 2 children. So they had 2 children, Megan, who was 5 years old, and Michael, who was 3. That is so young. But you have people who just had a baby. They're not even in a relationship with the baby's, with their baby's mother. They're not even in a relationship. They just broke up. So we just had a baby. The baby was just born. We're not together. Or the baby could be 1, 2, or 3, and y'all broke up. Wait a minute, what happened? Why did you break? Anyway. So now Steve and his wife was legally separated. They have 2 children, Megan, who was 5, and Michael, who was 3. So Gina adored his children, not to spend time with them at Steve's big, beautiful 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath house in a subdivision away from the city. Sounds like a beautiful house, don't it? Big house, 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bath. That sounds like a nice. I would be enjoying the children too. Come on, what you want, Michael and Meg? Come on, you can have anything you want, okay? So Gina stayed every weekend at Steve's place. Now, I underline these things because, you want to know. You want to know how do these things lead up to certain things, right? And as we backtrack, because sometimes it takes some backtracking to figure out, okay, what took place there. So Gina stayed every weekend at Steve's place. He was definitely a family man. Now, remember, that's what she wants. She wants that. So nothing gave him greater joy than being with his kids and Gina. She really was like, I'm in La La Land. Now, he shared with her how he was most comfortable in his own skin when he was in a family unit. So, being in the house with his wife and kids, having that family unit, he was the most comfortable. That's his drive. That's what he loves, having that family unit. And right now he doesn't really have that family unit because he's not there with his wife. And he didn't say that now. He just shared with her that he's the most comfortable in his own skin when he was in a family unit. So in other words, he's not comfortable because he's not in a family unit. He may have his children because they have shared custody, but he's not comfortable. Ring-a-ling-a-ring-a-ring-a-ring-a-ring-a-ling-ling. Red flag. Red flag. But see, Gina's not paying that no attention because she's engulfed in this amazing big old house. I have my bathroom, the kids, and he's just enjoying all of us, and she's dismissing what he shared with her. So to Gina, it was music to her ears, especially when she learned that she was expecting her first child and this was going to be his third. Wow. So she's pregnant with Steve's baby. At last, the right man had come along, and her happiness was just a short divorce away. We're going to leave it right there. Her happiness. We're going to stop right here. I don't know what I'm going to title this part, but so far, I'm going to title it, Did She Really Learn a Lesson? Let me write that down. So this will be titled, Did She Really Learn a Lesson? That's the title for this part here. Here it is. She goes into another relationship and she's thinking that, okay, I know what I'm getting myself into. I'm good. He's going through a divorce, but red flag pops in and she ignores it again. She ignores it again. He shared with her he was the most comfortable. He was the most comfortable in his family unit. He's got his wife, children of his mother of his children. We're all together. We're a unit. Now the dynamics have changed. We're no longer together. I have the children here every so often because we have shared custody, but it doesn't really feel the same. Doesn't feel the same. Meanwhile, Gina is relying on the divorce to fulfill her happiness. She's relying on the divorce to fulfill her happiness. She's relying on the divorce to fulfill her happiness. Red flag number 2. See, it's these red flags that we really don't pay attention to that's really showing us. Okay, so he was. Then on top of that, she's depending her whole happiness on this divorce when she should already be happy for her, when she should already be happy about her life and where she's at. She's pregnant with his baby, but she's still dependent upon this divorce to secure her happiness. So again, she depended on Tony, right? We're talking about taking a relationship to the next level. She wanted that family. She wants to have a family. She wants to have children. She wants to have a husband. She wants to live in this nice, big old house, right? But she hasn't quite learned the lesson. She hasn't quite really paid it any attention. I mean, she paid it some attention. She asked the right questions. And she figured, well, you know what? Now that I know what I'm getting into, there won't be no surprises. But there's always surprises. So we're going to leave it there. Okay, we're going to stop right there. I did write down emotional. And I think, emotional divorce. So let me just talk a little bit about, before we get off here, I'm going to talk about emotional, just kind of give you what emotional means. I love looking up certain words and really understanding the definition of the word, because when we don't understand what that word really means, it can change our entire understanding of it. And see, we can't apply something that we don't understand. If we don't understand that this is how it works, we can't really apply it. So in order for us to really understand, we have to know what these words mean. Because oftentimes just that one word can change the entire meaning of what it is that you're wanting to say, or what it is that you're wanting to show, or whatever. So emotional, because remember, she was on that emotional roller coaster. And there are some women who are still on that emotional roller coaster. There are some women who are still experiencing the emotional roller coaster. Now, emotional pertaining to or involving emotion. Now, one thing that I learned about emotions, when you separate the word E and motion, E, motion. Emotions simply means the act of doing, really, because motion, what do motion means? Motion means you're moving, you're doing, right? Motion. And when we're smiling, sometimes, smile. After a while, here it is, you keep smiling because you're in the motion of smiling. You want to smile more. You want to look, you want to be happy. And if it takes you smiling more to be happy, you're smiling until it becomes second nature. And guess what? You're happy. And then you just automatically are smiling. But emotional means moving. It's sentimental, affecting, exciting. Sometimes you be heated, hysterical, and then mental. Sentimental. It's relating to the mind. It's a psychic. It's a psychological. It's psychological. It's subjective. So if sentimental is another word for emotional, again, it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. It's not something that it's something that you can control. Emotions are something that you can control. And a lot of people don't know that you can control your own emotions. And the reason being is because for so many years or for so long, they've allowed their emotions to take control of them. When it's a psyche, it's a mental thing. And anything that's in the mental, you have control over. Hello. See why it's important to know these words. It's there to teach us, right? I'm telling you, knowledge is power. It's power. Without knowledge, you can be trying, but sometimes you got to do the work. If not, most of the times you got to do the work. And a lot of people don't want to take time out to look up what these words mean. They rather take someone else's word for it. But that's your life. That's your life. So, divorce means a judicial declaration dissolving a marriage in a whole or in part, especially one that releases the managed partners from all matrimonial obligations. So now, when you get a divorce, you're no longer obligated to me from a matrimonial perspective. So I circled the word declaration because oftentimes we, faith-based people, we're always saying, I declare and decree. I declare and decree. And when you declare and decree something, it's supposed to take hold. It's supposed to happen. It has to happen because I declared and decree. Oh, that's dust. Okay, so declaration is the act of declaring something. You're declaring it. I circled the word releases. And releases simply means to lease again. So when we get a divorce, I'm for lease again. I could get married again. I am for lease. Hello. I could get married again. Matrimonial simply means marriage. And matrimonial is an annulment. Divorce. So divorce is another word for annulment. It's a breakup. It's a dissolution. It's a separation. It's a split. We're done. I'm divorced from you. So I'm no longer obligated to you from a matrimonial standpoint. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to leave you there with that. But we left on page 14 of She Was Made book. Page 14, we're towards the end of the first paragraph where we left off at Gina's ears, especially when she learned that she was expecting her first child and his third. At last, the right man. But remember, she said the same thing about Tony. At last, the right man had come along. Because remember, she said with real man. She used the word real and real potential. And that's what I mean. Like, what does real mean? Okay, Gina. So her happiness was just a short divorce away. So we're going to leave off there. I want you to continue to use what you have today to empower tomorrow. If you know anyone who could benefit from this video, help them share a different perspective when it comes to a relationship, or that can possibly add more value to what they already know, right? Please share this video, like, comment below. All comments are welcome in this community. Like I mentioned before, I don't know everything, and the lessons that you've learned in your relationship, right, as it pertains to you, that has nothing to do with him. But even that, there's always lessons to be learned. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But yeah, so until next time, I love you, and I'll see you soon.